Hello students, our new topic is proteins. Our new topic is proteins. Okay. Up till now we studied carbohydrates. In that carbohydrates we studied monosaccharides, disaccharides and then polysaccharides. In polysaccharides in the last lecture we studied starch, cellulose and glycogen. And now our next topic is the proteins. We studied different structures in that and those structures are again very important. You have to do revisions again and again so you can remember that. Now proteins. Proteins are the fundamental structural materials of animal bodies. Fundamental structural materials of the animal bodies. Without this protein, animal body is not going to have whatever its shape. This is very important. Structural, fundamental means without that it is not going to form a body. That is the important. So this is known as fundamental structural material. Okay. Now what is this protein word? Again we studied so many words whose origin is in Greek language. Similarly here it is in Greek. The word is proteus. Okay. Proteus meaning is primary or prime importance. Prime importance. This is the way it is very important for any structure or any animal structure. Okay. So these proteins are nothing but polyamides. Polyamides. Poly we know number of monomer and polymer, just like that. This is the polyamide. So lots and lots of amino acids, when they links to each other, then there is a formation of polyamide structure which are having very high molecular weight because these are nothing but polymers of the monomer known as alpha amino acid. This is our alpha amino acid. We mentioning it is alpha because the carbon next to the functional group is always alpha. We know it very well. And then based upon this and then there are the different branches like this are different things are going to attach over here, and then the name of the alpha amino acids is different, but this is a compound importantly attached to this carbon and it gives name. That's why this is called as alpha amino acids. Now we are going to see alpha amino acids. Alpha amino acids are carboxylic acids. Carboxylic acids. These are the carboxylic acids, means the carboxylic group is present having an amino group. So this is the carboxylic acid group present and this is having amino group. Okay. Now important thing is that this alpha carbon is chiral carbon. Very important. Means it will show you optical activity. Chiral carbon, which we studied in halogen derivative chapter. Chiral carbon except glycine. This is one of the exceptional example. You have to remember this for the MCQ type of question. Except glycine. Now what is glycine? Glycine is like this. And now first of all we see this is called chiral carbon. Means what? If this is a carbon and if these all four groups attached to this carbon are different, then this carbon known as chiral carbon, and that's why we represented it by star. Okay, this is our chiral carbon. As I explained, this is alpha, so I am also mentioning over it is alpha. So this is our chiral carbon. This alpha carbon is our chiral carbon. Okay, but now when we are saying it is chiral, when all these A, B, C, D groups are different, then it will show optical activity, and that's why this carbon is chiral carbon. Okay, but now in this example of glycine, this R is nothing but H. This R is H. Means what is going to happen over here? These two groups are now the same. These two groups are now same. So this carbon is not chiral carbon. This carbon is not chiral carbon because two groups are same. For the chiral condition we require all these four, A, B, C, D, all these four must be different, but here it is same. So this is not chiral in glycine. Remember this thing. Okay. Now this structure we can represent in our Fischer projection formula also. What is the Fischer projection formula? That is also you know very well. in Fisher projection formula, at the cross point, this way, this C we never represent. This C we never represent, just the crossing of two lines over here. But the remaining groups at the end of this cross, the remaining group at the end of this cross, 1 2 3 4 positions, we are going to write this. So this is COH, this is H, this is R, this is NH2. Okay, so this is nothing but Fisher projection formula. Fisher projection formula. Again, here it is alpha carbon to which the two functional groups are attached. So this is alpha amino acid, and when we are going to pass plain polarized light through this solution, then it will rotate. If this is a plain polarized light planes, then if you are going to pass through this, these are the plain polarized lights and those are passing through this solution, then here we get rotation like this. Rotation like this means what? It rotated towards left side, and that's why this is Leo rotatory, and we represent here L, means PPL rotates to left side. Plain polarized light rotates to left side. So we wrote over here L here. Okay, L alpha amino acid. Now we are going to see what is this R. Okay, this R, what is this R? These R represent side chains. These are represent side chains, and those are so many present, and we are going to study in our textbook also. On page number 308, table number 14.1, we are going to see different examples. In that examples also, in this R the groups, there are three criteria. One is neutral alpha amino acids, one is acidic amino acids, and another one is basic amino acids. Now question arises, when amino acid is having COH and NH2, means one basic, one acidic character, then it is in the normal condition, it is neutral. But based upon this R, we can say whether it is neutral, whether it is basic, or whether it is acidic. If this R chain contain, if this R chain may contain additional functional groups other than these two additional functional groups. Please remember, please try to understand, clear your concept about this. Instead, though these two are there, carboxylic group and NH2, additional to these two functional groups in the R, means this is a side chain, different additional functional groups are there, and if that chain additional functional group is COOH, then that amino group is known as acidic. If that group is COH in this chain, if functional group is COH, then that is acidic. If that additional chain, this R is amino group, then that is known as basic amino group. And if there is no functional group, the only simple R chain, then it will be neutral, and that is known as neutral amino group. Are you getting this point? In side chain, if there is a COH, side chain itself is a COH, is not I am saying. In that side chain, one of the attachment is of COH, then it is acidic. If one of the attachment is the NH2, then that is basic amino group. And if these functional groups are not there present, just only R chain, then it is neutral, and that is known as neutral amino group. See now, in the textbook, we are having a big chart that is on page number 308, table number 14.1. Okay, natural alpha amino acids, and we know that they all are having Leo rotation, so we represented here L. This is the general formula of amino acids, RCHNH2COH. This is RCHNH2COH. So representation is in a just a condensed formula, we can write RCH NH2 COOH. RCHNH2 COOH. See, RCHNH2 COOH. This is a condensed formula of this alpha amino acid R. This R. C. C. To this C, one H is attached, so here it is H. To this C, one NH2 is attached, so in the bracket we write over NH2. And to this C, COH group is attached, so here it is COH. Are you getting this thing? Okay, now it is easy to see this table. Okay, now neutral, first examples type are given of the neutral alpha amino acids. The name first one is the glycine, where R is H. We know that the exceptional, which is not having chiral carbon, exceptional, this is the exceptional one where is no chiral carbon. Here it is, this R is H. This is the first example, glycine. Okay, this amino acids also represented by 3 letter, that is GLY, and 1 letter symbol by G. This thing I think you studied in biology, how to write down the symbols. These symbols are given over here. Okay, now suppose that R is CH3 and the name is the alanine, then short form is ALA and 1 letter symbol is A. Now if it is valine, then this R is Me2CH, like this CH, here it is methyl group, here it is methyl group, and this is the attachment. Then that is valine. Then leucine, then isoleucine, then asparagine, then glutamine, then serine, then thyrronine, then cysteine, methionine, phenylalanine, tyrosine, tryptophan, then proline, like this. These are all the neutral one, and these are the different R's. Now the acidic one, this is aspartic acid, means what? In R, in this R, okay, in this R which is attached, one is COOH, one functional group is COH. So this is acidic amino acid. This is acidic amino acid. Then glutamic acid. See here, are different, but this R or this R is having COH group. So these are acidic. While basic, then in R there is NH2. In R there is, this is secondary. In R there is N, here it is NH, and here it is the chain of that R, and one of the group is this, and that's why these are the basic. These are the lysine, this is arginine, this is histidine. Okay, now what is this star? Okay, this asterisk represents as a essential amino acids. This is representing essential amino acids. What do you mean by essential amino acids? Now please pay attention. These are the essential amino acids, and we have to obtain these through diet. We have to obtain these through diet, essential amino acids. Those are cannot synthesized in human body. Those cannot synthesized in human body. This is very important. Cannot synthesized in human body. Okay, and we have to be obtain this from diet, and that's why we have to eat different proteins to for tear and wear of our body, to build muscles, for our hair, for our skin, and all those things not synthesized in body, somewhat we have to take in the form of diet, and those are called as essential amino acids. And these essential amino acids here represented by such sort of asterisk. So valine, leucine, isoleucine, then threonine, then methionine, then phenylalanine, then tryptophan, all, then lysine, arginine, histidine, all these are essential amino acids. Okay, this is again important for your MCQ sort of questions. So you have to remember which are the essential amino acids. Okay, for our brain power, here it is, extra information is given. You please go through this so you can understand what is it histidine and what is its structure and how they classify into neutral, acidic and basic, as I explained before also how they classified in the neutral, basic and acidic. Okay, now in this structure of this alpha amino acid, our next topic is of Zwitter ion. Zwitter ion. Okay, Zwitter ion structure means what? See here, alpha amino acids are having high melting point. These are water soluble crystalline solids, and this property is due to Zwitter ion structure of the alpha amino acids. Zwitter ion. Zwitter means two type of ions. Which two type of ions we know? We know cation and we know anion. Positively charged ions and negatively charged ions. Those are the Zwitter ion. If both the type of ions are present in one structure, then that is known as Zwitter ion. Okay, both are present, then that is known as Zwitter ion. How this is so? See here, this is our normal alpha amino acid. Here it is, this nitrogen is having two lone pair of electrons. Okay, two lone pair of electrons. And now here it is the proton, which we can easily remove. We can easily remove, and this lone pair of electrons can easily given to this H to form a bond like this. So here it is formation of H3N like this. Here it is already two hydrogens lone pair, then this lone pair are given to another third proton, and here it is formation of H3N. Now these two lone pair of electrons used, and that's why this acquires positive charge. This acquires positive charge, and this proton is abstracted. This proton is abstracted, which is a H plus, H plus. So this oxygen will have now O minus, because these bonds electrons are transferred to this O, and here it is O minus. Means what happened? In a one structure, due to proton transfer, this NH3 become positive while this CO is become minus, CO minus, and such type of structure is called as Zwitter ion. See, I repeat it again. This carboxyl group can donate proton. Carboxyl group can donate proton, and this lone pair of a nitrogen can form bond to proton, and that's why here it is formation of NH3, and this CO is with the negative charge. Okay, this is for Zwitter ion. One more interesting thing is given in our textbook. Okay, so here it is three forms of alanine. What is that? First we studied, if this R is CH3, if this R is CH3, then this is alanine. If this R is CH3, then this is alanine. Now here two charges present, positive and negative, so this is the Zwitter ion. This is the Zwitter ion. One more important statement is here. Please listen carefully. Amino acid can exist in different forms depending upon the pH of the aqueous solution in which it is dissolved. This is important. You have to remember this thing very well, and you have, when it is going to mention, then you have to focus on this, and then you can say whether it is acidic alpha amino acid or whether it is basic amino acid, and again that is depend upon the solution which we use to dissolve these alpha amino acids. Okay, now see here. Okay, these are the two types more. If the pH of the solution is less than 2, means if it is the acidic solution in which we dissolve amino acid, then this NH2 acquire positive charge. This NH2 acquire positive charge. COH is going to remain as it is, which shows acidic property. Which shows acidic property. Okay, this is very important. Try to understand. When it is dissolved in solvent whose pH is less than 2, means it is acidic, then this is the situation that will have positively charged. But if the pH is more than 10, if the pH is more than 10 means the alkaline solution, then this COH will acquire negative charge as anion and NH2 is as it is. NH2 as it is. Then we can say this is acidic, when this we can say this is basic. Acidic, this is acidic alpha amino acid, as COH is intact over there, so it will show acidic property, while NH2 as a basic, which will show as a basic property. Basic property, here it is the examples we have seen. NH2 is here as it is, COH here it is as it is, so this is acidic while this is basic, and these depend upon the solution, aqueous solution in which it is dissolved, means the two things, the in R which functional group is present as well as the solution's pH. This is important. Okay. So now next topic is peptide bond and protein. Peptide bond and protein, or the peptide bond in protein. What is this? Proteins are known to break down into peptides in stomach or in a duodenum. Okay, this is our metabolism of our food or of our body metabolism. Under the influence of enzymes, we know it very well, enzymes acts as a catalyst in our body chemical reaction. These enzymes acts as a catalyst, so influence of enzyme is very, very important, or it is must. Okay, now pepsin being one of them which is secreted by stomach. This pepsin being one of them which is secreted by stomach, and this pepsin is nothing but enzyme which is secreted in stomach. Means what is going to happen? In stomach, pepsin is going to react on the peptides, on the proteins, and it is break down into peptides. Okay, pepsin react on proteins and break down into peptides in stomach or in duodenum. Okay, further these polypeptides further broken into alpha amino acids. Polypeptides further broken into alpha amino acids. This implies that proteins are formed by connecting alpha amino acids. Okay, this is not a single alpha amino acid, but this is the chain of alpha amino acids, and they are connecting to each other by some bond, and that bond connects alpha amino acids to each other, each called peptide bond. Okay, which called peptide bond. See now, here it is the example of the peptide bond. This is one glycine, okay, one of the alpha amino acid. This is another type of alpha amino acid. Okay, when they link to each other by removal of water molecule, one H from here, okay, then there is formation of CONH dash C double bond O dash NH sort of link, and this is in between all peptide structures. This is linked over here, so this is peptide bond. When two glycine and alanine amino acids, this is for example any amino acid, when linked to each other, they form this CONH bond. And this bond is called peptide bond. peptide bond. Okay, so now next is here peptide bond. Now we have to see another structure. So peptide bond, here it is I explained on the textbook. Here I had shown you on the notes how peptide bond is formed and how this glycyl alanine attach to each other by removal of this H2O and CONH. This CONH is nothing but C double bond ONH. What is this? This is nothing but combination of carboxyl group. This carboxyl group of glycine with amino group of alanine. This carboxyl group is also alpha and this amino group is also alpha, because this is our alpha carbon. This is our alpha carbon, and to this alpha carbon this amino group is attached. Similarly to this alpha carbon, this carboxylic group is attached. Okay. Now here is combination of only two molecules of alpha amino acids, one and second, first and second, 1 and 2 only. If this is the condition 2 only, then this is known as dipeptide. Okay, dihalides, just like that, this is dipeptide. Combination of 3 molecules of alpha amino acids, then that is tripeptide. If it is 4, it is called tetrapeptide. If it is 5, it is called pentapeptide. It is 6, then it is called hexapeptide. If it is more than 10, then this is called polypeptide. And if it is more than 100, then that sort of chain is called as protein. And all these peptides link are nothing but peptide bonds. These are peptide bonds, means all type of amino acids linked to each other by peptide bond, and that peptide bond is nothing but our CONH. How is this? Dash C double bond O dash NH, and here it is also another bond. So this is our peptide bond. Now next topic is types of proteins, and then the structure of proteins we are going to see in the next lecture. Thank you, students.